All right, so hopefully we have a very profitable week. Um, all right, so we've been looking at trying to develop a strategy that could help people who find it difficult to do markups. I'm sure you're aware that just like we have different people, different temperaments, some are choleric, some are sanguine, some are phlegmatic. A strategy could be very, very profitable for one trader, but very difficult to adopt for another. So when you trade um, other blocks, for instance, there are instances where price action will get you confused. I'll give a good example with GU. I'll give a good example with GU and what GU did to me last week. Um, all right, so if we go to the H4, you would notice that this is the last bearish candle responsible for that high. So I had GU marked up like this, anticipating buys. Now, when you go to the weekly, we are, or let's even go to the daily, we are in a previous bearish source, right? So at this point, what should I do? Am I a buyer or a seller? Because I anticipate price to react from the bearish source of the higher time frame, and I anticipate price to buy from the H4 bullish order block. So you see that GU was basically bouncing between a higher time frame source and a H4 order block. And if you don't know what to trade or how to trade, you could be a buyer or a seller here and still lose money. Right? So sometimes it's difficult when you're trading order flow because it needs some form of intuition. You need to, there are times that price action is not telling you anything directly. And then you have to have the presence of mind to leave that particular pair alone and go look for something that is clear, or you frame out how to take your trade. You know, if you go down to 15, so I'm going to use this example here. So we're starting from, okay, this was a buy, obviously. Then by the time it got to this level, we were inside the daily source, right? So those of us in the fostering class, for instance, will have a method to trade this when we use the blockbuster strategy. Now, so because people find it difficult sometimes to interpret price, for instance, here, you would basically have a breaker and price will be coming back into the breaker, into the source for a sell, only to violate it. So sometimes things like this happen. So feel okay, if you find it difficult to learn IOF, I would suggest everybody should trade IOF eventually because it's um, pretty easier, you know, in the long run. But while you develop your psyche to get to that level, would you stop trading completely? And the answer will be no. Most of us are addicted to this thing called trading, even though some people have been addicted for 3, 4 years and have nothing to show for it, but the addiction is still there. So can we find something easier that will just tell you buy, sell, more like a buy, sell signal, but you know the logic behind it. And so we decided to stay put on H1. Let me remove all objects. Stay put on H1 and add the 200 moving average on H1. 200 exponential for that matter, apply to the close. We did this before. And then we said, when price is above the 200, we basically bullish. Again, if you go down to H4, you would notice, let's put a line here, and go back to H4, right? So you notice that this was the breaker in H4, right? Using order block, order flow, this was the breaker. And at this point, we started the bullish move off this order block, bullish order block here. So if you understand the order block, well, this could be an additional way of looking at price. Now, so here we decide to add the stochastics, and we went and added stochastic oscillator, and let's make this blue and red. We chose 1233 close exponential, and then we added this. And we said if price, sorry, since we have green and red there, let's take this to green. All right, so we don't have too many colors. So we're like, if price is above the 200, we want to see both lines crossing beneath the 20 or the 80, right? So today I'll be giving us variations of how we can trade this and how you can add it to either the IOF or the modified or the BTMM, or how you can trade this on its own alone, right? So there are variations. The first variation is when you come to your data window, there's what we call the stock line and the signal line, right? So when you come here, you notice that the stock line is below 20, but the signal line isn't, right? So one variation is to only take a trade when both have crossed, or at least the signal line has crossed, and the stock line, that the stock line itself has crossed. That's one variation we didn't discuss. What you guys back tested was both crossing. So if we have the stock line crossing, that might be a value. Like in this case, we had, let's see an example that might just meet, okay, this both crossed. But I believe you get the gist. So like here we have the stock at 12, the signal at 30. We still could have gotten our reason to go long. That is one variation. This will give you more trades, but if you've been trading for a while, you know that more trade also means the possibility you will lose more. It will also mean you will win more. But the more trades you take, the more the likelihood you will lose more, right? So if you prefer less, then wait for both to cross. These are variations of the theme. You decide which one you want. Right, so the challenge and the advantage of this is that it helps you come just once every hour to see what price does. I think I have something. So yeah, let me start with it. No strategy wins all the time. I believe we all know that no strategy will win all the time. So if you keep hopping from one strategy to the other because you have 4 back-to-back losses, I tell you, you will hop like a kangaroo into another strategy very, very soon. So when we back tested, I'm sure some of you saw days where we had 4 back-to-back, even 5 back-to-back losses, but there wasn't any single pair. No single pair returned a negative return, right? And gross return. Every single pair gave positive. So the issue here is, how do I enter? Will I catch all of the trades? If I catch some of the trades, what if the ones I thought were the losing ones and I didn't catch out from, I didn't get anything from the winning ones? So that's where the dedication and the type of trader, the individual type of person you are, comes to play when trading this strategy. Now, in this strategy, we use stochastic just for discount and premium alone. And I explained the last time that some other persons would love to use what's the name now? Fib, right? If you are not used to Fib, we could use this. So when it's below, we assume that it's discounted, and when it's above, we say it is at a premium. Or you want to sell at a premium and buy at a discount. Sell at a premium, buy at a discount. Basically, that's what business guys do, right? Now, while we're back testing, somebody threw in something, and the person said, I noticed that when my H1 and my M15 stock are aligned, I might get better entries. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. And I'm also going to mention, if you want to trade just on H1, how you could also do that. Let's see if I'm going according to plan. All right, so you may want to combine stoke H1 and M15. Now, if you add your stoke here, if I add another stochastics here, it's to basically just give you the same thing. If I go to 15 minutes, it gives me the stoke in 15 minutes. If I go to H4, give me the stokes in H4, both of them the same, right? So one way you can do this and is come to what we call the marketplace. On your MT4, there's what we call the marketplace. Press Ctrl T and come to this area here, market, right? Now the challenge is if I click on this now, it will take like 2 or 3 minutes before it opens. And I wouldn't want to do that in this video. So when you click on the marketplace, it's going to bring out, give it 2 or 3 minutes depending on your network. It's going to bring out a page. I'll take a screenshot of what the page looks like and send to the group. And so when it's finished loading, you will see things like indicator, experts, blah, 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 things that people sell, free indicators, and some that you can pay for, right? Now there'll be a search button somewhere where this profit, where we have this profit sign column here. There'll be a search button there, search button. Now this is what you type in the search button, right? So I have downloaded some things from the market, and here they are. So you will see this SCMTF. Just type SCMTF. It will bring out SCMTF stochastic. In fact, to bring out SCMTF stochastic, SCMTF Bollinger Band, and so several other things that you can play with. But for this, we'll be discussing SCMTF stochastic, right? I have downloaded already, so it's here. By the way, to be able to do this, you should have logged into your MQL file. And you can do that by coming somewhere here and log into your MQL file. You see some button that looks like communication, that's MQL community, right? Get logged in. So I'm going to call up this now. So this is a custom-made indicator. And with this indicator, it has several things in it. I am going to, by default, it comes with current, meaning to give me the current and time frame. If I say okay now, it gives me stochastics, but you know, it looks more or less like what we have here, right? So what we're going to do, of course, the setting here is 335, whereas we have 1233. So it might be looking different, but you get what I'm saying. This is 1233. Okay. So now it looks exactly like this, right? So this is current time frame. It's telling me the stochastics at the current time frame, but I want to see the stochastics on 1 hour, even when I go to the 15 minutes, right? And I'm saying this because some of you said from your back test, you notice that when the 1 hour and the 15 minutes are aligned, if you don't believe that theory, then let it go. But for those of you who believe, here we are. So I'm going to change this to 1 hour. I want this to give me 1 hour stochastics at every point in time. Or I want it to give me 15 minutes stochastics at every point in time. You could choose whichever one you want. So let's say we go with 15 minutes stochastics, for instance. It will be giving us 15 minutes stochastics at every point in time. So if I click this, I can basically see I'm on 1 hour now. I'm seeing my 1 hour stochastics. And at the same time, I'm seeing my 15 minutes stochastics on the same window. So if you believe that the 15 minutes and 1 hour, when they are aligned, you have better win rate, well, you just have a way of doing that. Now you have a way of doing just that, right? So with that cleared up, let's go to the next place. So I've mentioned how you can check the marketplace for MT4. Now, this stochastic here has very wonderful attributes. It can send push notifications to you. So I'm going to allow one of us here to do the job. I wouldn't want to go through what it means to send push notification and the likes. I'll just give you a example, but there are several videos on YouTube, but I don't need to spend time again. Somebody can just find that out and send to us. So here we are using 15 minutes time frame. bar shift lower time frame 0, 1233. Applied MA method, remember we are using exponential. Tries apply to low, high, no, we are applying to close, right? Stepless linear interpolation through show indicators levels through what do we use? We use 80 and 20. Now, do I want it to send alert? Yes, I want it to send alert T for true. When should it send the alert to me? Should it send the alert when the main line levels cross after bar close? No, I don't want that. No, no, no. I want it to give me only when both lines cross level after bar close. Now, for some of you that we want to use the other variation, when the main line crosses, then you have to put true. Remember, I explained that initially, that we want both crossing above or beneath 80 or 20 respectively, but you could have the variation of the team where you have only your stock line crossing and your signal line hasn't arrived and it gives you a reason to go long. You could go long. That is a variation. If you want that, then you have to pick one of them. So, and I would suggest you pick after bar close, not before bar close. Yes, else you'll be getting over 4 or 5 signals, you know, and they'll all be false signals. So for now, we'll be using signal line, both lines crossed levels after the bar is closed. Yes, don't give me before the bar close. I don't want before the bar. Let it be the after bar close. What it means is that let the candle close before you tell me that we are overbought or oversold or we are at a premium or discount. And I think it makes sense. You want to come back every 1 hour. So if you have this installed on your 1 hour time frame, when the candle closes and you are either at premium or discount, then it will send an alert to you that this candle just closed and stochastic have gone into premium or discount. Now, so you have more time for yourself. So yes, every other thing, both lines cross level before now false, false, everything here false, false. We don't want it before. Both lines crossed each other. We're not trading stochastic cross, right? So everything here false, 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 false. Every other thing there false. A short message, you can leave that. Alert with email. There's a way you can send this thing to send email to you, right? I have it installed, and if I wanted to send an email to me, send it straight to my Gmail. And I also connected my Gmail to I connected my Gmail to, here's my Gmail, right? I connected my Gmail to my MT4, to my Telegram. So whatever drops in my Gmail straight comes to my Telegram. And as you guys know, I spend almost all my time on Telegram, so I don't miss any alert. So when the alert comes, I now decide if I want to trade. So I don't have to sit there in front of the screen all day. You allow technology to do some of those things for you. And that's why it's easy for you to chat and looks like I'm always responding to your chat. It's because something else is doing some of the hard work. I'm just sending the signals and I'm just feeling to see which one I'm going to take, right? So we should be using technology basically, right? So a short message, alert with email. If you want it to alert email, you say true. You want it to send push notification, you say true. I would suggest you say true for push notification. You want it to alert you with a pop window on your screen. Of course, you might want that true. You want it to play a sound when it's doing the alert. If you want it, you say true. And we pretty much, that's all we want, right? Do you want it to draw it as histogram? I'll suggest you say false. If you say true as histogram, it comes like this and it's difficult to interpret, right? So you don't want it as histogram. You want it as where are you? You don't want it as histogram. You want it the way we know it. Now, so now notice the alert. This is the alert. Stochastic GPU cross. This is the type it will send to your laptop if you're using laptop, right? If you are not using laptop, of course you can't even use this SCMTF. You can't use it. But for every serious trader, I'll suggest have a laptop somewhere. When I say somewhere, it doesn't have to be yours. You could pay for a VPS, right? If you pay for VPS, you'll be given login details. You will you will install your MT4 on that VPS, put all the things you want on it, and now you don't need to use your laptop again. It will send the signal straight to your phone when the conditions have been met, and you just simply take the trade without using your laptop, right? Yeah, sure. You know, for the alerts to work, you need to ensure your MT4 is running and the laptop is on, else the alert will not work, which is why I use the VPS. And there are very cheap VPS around. This community we just formed, the Slingshot, will be together for like 2-3 weeks before we disband everything. So if you need info on VPS, you could ask. I'm sure there are people who know very cheap VPS. Is VPS, yeah, VPS, right? Of course, like I said, if you're a serious trader, most serious traders I know that have gone very far have a VPS. And the reason is this: it takes a lot of mental strength to monitor 8 pairs. It takes a lot of mental strength. I tell you the truth, you mark up a pair, you'll be in the Telegram group, somebody will say USD MXN, Mexican peso is moving up, and Bitcoin has dropped, and you forget about everything you've marked up. You come back 1 week later, what you marked up played out nicely, but you were not there to catch it, right? But when you have a VPS, it just sends an alert to you that, hey, something has happened, and you move on. So again, let's move on. So that is the physical alert. Well, when you want push notifications, come to tools. Here, come to tools, go to options. Now you see notifications, enable push notifications. If I click notify of trade transaction, if I take any trade or close any trade, it will tell me. But since I'm the one trading my account, I don't need this. Put your MetaQuotes ID here. It's easier to see your MetaQuotes ID from your phone. Put your MetaQuotes ID. Click on test to tell you if the message went. If I click on test now here, notification was successfully queued. Look at the journal. All I need to do is press Ctrl T and go to journal here. And it tells me test message, blah, 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 was sent, right? Mail failed, but test notification went, so it means if I open my MT4, I will see this message coming in like an SMS into my MT4. So imagine holding your MT4 and it's telling you, oh, guy, stochastic just crossed. You don't need to be there. You don't need to come back every hour again. You only need to wait for your push notification. So when price was making all of this move to the downside, you don't need to be watching your chart. Once it crosses this level, it tells you, I have crossed. Now, so even if you're monitoring 13 pairs and you get 3 push notifications, how many pairs do you get to watch at the close of every hour now? Only 3. Only 3, not 13 again. So now if you have this, you can basically monitor 28 pairs, have your push notification. If it alerts you for 4, it means you are monitoring only 4 for that day until it sends a new alert. So you could basically not miss out on anything, right? That is the secret of trading several pairs, if you wish to trade several pairs, of course. So again, that is that. So this way, if I'm on 1 hour, I will see 1 hour stochastics and 15 minutes stochastics. For those of you who say you prefer to trade, you prefer when 15 minutes align. So here, 1 hour is here, 15 minutes just went before 1 hour. Okay, so both of them are aligned. You could decide to take your trade. All right, so I'll take this out because it's not meant for everybody. Everybody should know this at least. Now, if you are trading this strategy, there are certain things you should know. Number 1, to have better chances and reduce screen time, you may need to restrict yourself to kill zone, especially for pairs that are not Asian related. And by Asian related, I mean pairs that do not contain JPY, that does not contain JPY, NZD, AUD. So pairs that don't contain these So I didn't know Prof was online. The pairs that don't contain these three, I would suggest you restrict yourself strictly to kill zone, right? And even if you want to trade outside the kill zone, I would suggest you trade them maybe with combination of these ones: AUD NZD, AUD JPY, NZD JPY, and any other thing. That does, when you did your back test, I'm sure you guys added your time. You will see that some of them played out well, even though they were not in kill zone. But the question now becomes this: if they played out well, but not in the kill zone, will you be awake 1 a.m. your own time? Would you be awake as at that time? Even if you get a, yeah, there's a kill zone indicator, but there's a kill zone indicator, we can always send that to you. But even if you have a push notification and the push notification comes up, sends a notification to you, let's say 2 a.m., would you take a trade? Right? So just to reduce your screen time and ensure you have a healthy work-life balance, you might want to restrict yourself to trading during the kill zone. What it will do is that it will reduce the trades you most likely take. And some of the ones you will miss out might be the winners, right? But we can't have it all. We can't trade 24/7, right? We need to strike a balance to all of this. Now, you may want to combine this strategy with other strategy that you know. For instance, you may want to combine this strategy with the two strategies I basically trade most of the time is either IOF or a variation of beat the market maker. Right? So if you're combining with IOF or beat the market maker, for IOF, OBs, you consider OBs, right? You take trades only from OBs. So when we go back to GU, for instance, here we are again, GU. So let's say for GU, on the daily, I would have marked up this area as a daily source, an area where price ran heavily away the last time. To make it easier for me to see on other time frame, I might come down and give it a form of a dim gray setting background, right? So now when I go back to H1, it's easier for me to see based on IOF where price seems to be pushing back down. And when price has pushed 1, 2, 3, you want to start slowing down on your buys. You want to start slowing down on your buys, right? Because there's every likelihood it won't play out. Notice this, notice what happened here, right? Here we had our settings, played out a little and boom, it violated it. You want to slow down your buys. Why? Because you know you have an area that will serve as resistance up there. It doesn't mean price won't break it through, but trading is probability, right? So you want the odds to be highly in your favor. If there's going to be an order block that will most likely push price down, you avoid that particular pair and simply go trade something else, right? So if price trades into that order block once, twice, and it's rejecting it, well, just take a walk and look for something better, something more direct to trade, right? So if you're trading IOF, this is one way. If you're trading IOF again, another thing you need to know is order blocks. So here we have bullish order block. We have a bullish order block here. So notice when price came into this zone for H1, we're buying. It's coming into my order block and it's giving me this confirmation for buy. Makes sense, right? Coming into my order block and giving me confirmations for buy. Of course, some of them wouldn't have fallen into the kill zone, so that will restrict your number of trades. So you can add this to your IOF just to filter out your trades, So now you, if you're filtering out your trades, so using this method, you're no longer looking for LSB per se. You're looking for break above the 5 candlestick formations that we have mentioned, which for me is basically LSB again, depending on how you want to see. So you can basically just pick out any pair and look at this. We had signals for buy here. If you go down to the higher time frame, you will see that this is an order block, right? This is an order block. Price came back to that order block, giving you for reasons to buy. You go down to H4, you will see the order block extended here, right? You will see the order block here. This bearish candle is the order block, right? Price traded into the order block and gave you reasons to buy. So you go back to H1, here you are, right? There you are with the order block and price giving reasons to buy. So you could mix this if you wish to. If you don't, we didn't backtest order block. We backtested pure price action and it played out very well. So you might just want to do that too. Okay, so we're done with that. And if you want to trade BTMM, oh, why? So I have this template here. This is the BTMM template. And for the BTMM, I want to state something. This we call the Mayo, the white one there, which we usually call the Mayo, is 200 exponential moving average. But here is the calculation for this. In 1 hour, what is the 200 in 1 hour? 200 EMA in 1 hour is equivalent in 15 minutes to the 800 EMA. You see, to move from 1 hour to 15 minutes, right, you need to divide this by 4 to get this. So what do you do to this? You multiply by 4, then you get this equation balanced. So my 50 on 1 hour is 200 in 15 minutes. I know BTMM traders like to take their entry from 15 minutes. So here we are. This white, which is the 200 on 1 hour, is basically the 800, which is the blue line on 15 minutes. I hope that is clear. So we wouldn't be considering 200. We'll be considering 800 in 15 minutes if you're trading with the market maker method, right? So again, here, I'll just explain what I have here. Here I have on my stock here, we have the normal stochastic showing 15 minutes time frame. Then we have this showing 1 hour time frame in 15 minutes. And again, this is not mandatory. This is for the people who said while they were back testing that they preferred if the 15 minutes and the 1 hour align. So we just did this so you could have that, you know. But if you don't need it, then don't bother. BTMM traders find it difficult to trade without the traders dynamic index, the TDI. So we have the TDI there, right? So I have a template that when I go to 1 hour, the TDI disappears, the second stochastic disappears. When I come to 15 minutes, everything shows, right? So if you're trading BTMM, you could add this as a form of extra confirmation, nothing else. Remember, we didn't backtest this using BTMM. We backtested it as slingshot alone, which is stochastics and price action alone. But some of you are used to BTMM. I won't suggest that whenever you get a new strategy, you should throw away everything you've learned. Some of you have been learning BTMM for 2 years. If you throw BTMM away, you will soon throw this strategy away too. So what I suggest you do is, if the normal blood in the water, snake in the monkey shadow, and all of those things are disturbing you and you find it difficult to understand the TDI squeeze, the MBL bounce, and all of those things, and you feel slingshot is an easy way of doing it, then you could just use slingshot to sieve out your BTMM trades, right? And I think that will add some sense. You know, so for BTMM, you note that you want to sell when it is high, right? For sells, high should be taken, and for buys, low should be taken. I'll explain that. If I'm trading BTMM and you want to add slingshot to it, you should do it in such a way that if you are going to sell, a recent high should have been taken out. And when I say recent high, I mean basically three types of highs. Number one, price action high. Number two, Asian high. Number three, yesterday's high. So if price opens like this day, and I have my 800 above, and I'm in my 15 minutes, and I'm trading BTML, my 800 is above. By slingshot, it tells me I'm in a downtrend automatically. I will want price in my Q zone. You can see that this colored box is our Brinks box, right? We are the Brink. That's our Brink box. So I want at my Brink box, or basically between Frankfurt and the Q zone of London, I want my high to be taken out. I want my high of Asia or high of yesterday to be taken out. So if price contests my high, I'm willing to take a sell. On this day, price went straight. I was contesting my low. I'm not trading this. If price contests my high, I'm willing to take a sell. But here, my stochastic does not align. So I'm not in this trade, right? Here, my stochastic is aligned. My 15 minutes aligned for those of you who love the 15 minutes. And what do I see? Price took out my Asian high, which also coincided with yesterday high. Both of them were taken out. And then I have my stop, and now I have shark fin, and then you can be thinking of yourself. That is for people who love BTMM and you want to trade BTMM again, please. So on this day, price traded again, brings box, it was in between, took out your high. Your stop for 1 hour is not aligned. You see why we don't use 15 minutes. 15 minutes stock will be going up and down. We don't use stock on 15 minutes. We only added this because some of you said you want them to align, right? Else, we basically would delete this. We don't use this, please, so we don't get it confused. This is what we want.
Bishop.
Yeah.
I think Chris just made an important point. Your stochastics.
Yeah.
For that is for the 1 hour.
Oh, for the 1 hour. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. It should be 1233. 1233. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. 1233 was what we agreed, and it is even exponential and applied to close. Thanks a lot. Boom. All right, so here we are. Okay, so I guess here we have stochastics and 15 minutes aligning, and then we took out Asian high, and then we're dropping. Now at this level, we had Asian, this aligning, right? And price moving. We didn't get our close below the 13 for those of you who trade BTMM. And even if you did, this would have been a losing trade. Suck it up, part of the business, and you move. The way I trade this traditionally is the way we back tested it. Trade it on 1 hour. Wait for price action to play out on 1 hour and take your trade. Wait for price action to play out on 1 hour and take your trade. So here we are at this level here. This was where price went above on this candle. Again, let's put our data window up, and we are looking at stock at this level. Stock there is 93. This 80. Let's take this. 82.76. No, 96.86. I'm looking at the one up here, right here. 96.85. Still moving, still moving. So let's say you get a reason to take a trade here. It should have been a losing trade. And of course, what time was it around here? This is outside the kill zone, right? But let's say you will take the trade, you would have lost this. Then you have another one to take here. That was what we back tested. So you are at liberty to trade, to take that. But I would advise you don't throw away the strategy you've been learning, or the strategy you've been trading for maybe since when you started your trading career. Don't throw it away for a new strategy. What you can do is trade both strategies individually or find a way of blending them together so that you can see everything on one chart. So if you do that, you might have something that looks like this. I won't be considering the 15 minutes when um, I won't be considering the 15 minutes stochastics, right? Because I already have TDI to do that for me. I won't be considering 15 minutes stochastics. So I can basically delete this since I think I've explained its use, right? So for BTMM traders, I would advise that when doing this, you restrict yourself to highs and lows taken. So let's go back to that GU that we're using as an example before. All right, so here we are on GU. Again, we're using the 800 here as our 200 on H1, right? And you want to buy. You want to buy. You only consider buying when it has taken out a low. So your stock is below, took out a low, you're thinking of buying. You're thinking of buying. You're thinking of, okay, this didn't contest the low. This took out the low, you're thinking of buying. This took out the low, you're thinking of buying. Remember, you want this to align with your stock, the downside, right? This didn't take out the low. It sold off. It RF traders would have seen it as a rejection of the order block, and we have a way to trade that. It must give us something like a divergence before we can take this trade to the downside. Here we have divergence to the downside. Here we have reasons to buy, having taken out this low. If we are to follow this strategy, and we'll be in this buy before it threw us out. So basically, what each and every one of us needs to do is decide what we want to do out of the three. Trade Slingshot on its own, and I've told you how you can reduce your screen time if you are trading off the laptop. You could have VPS to do all that for you. If you're trading off your phone, then you might just have to do it manually. But if you have TradingView, then TradingView can send alerts to you. One of our good friends gave us, let's go to TradingView. Sorry, I should have opened this before now. I'll begin to wrap it up from there. One of our friends gave us an indicator on TradingView that might be able to send alerts to us. All right, so these guys are done with Black Friday night. It's Cyber Monday. All right, no problem. So let's do that. I'll give room for questions for us to ask. If there's anything this strategy will teach you also is patience, right? Sometimes price can be below or above. It takes 3 or 4 hours before the candlestick formation. We are looking for forms. What do? We sit on our hands. You jump in too early, dash the market maker your penny. So let's wait for that, for it to load up, and we'll move on. So let's see if I'm done with what I have here. All right, I've explained BTMM this. So watch out for divergence against the trend. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go to a pair like GN. I think I have an example on GN. Okay, so if you're trading using BTMM, you know one of the things BTMM does a lot is looks at a lot is divergence. So let's say you were in a sell, right? Let's say you're in a sell and you have divergence to the buy. You could use that as a reason to want to exit yourself. I'm looking for a good example. Did this one fit in? I think I saw something on GN to, to suit that. Sorry, usually when we teach in trading, we don't try to cherry pick. The market doesn't give us ideal conditions, so there's no point coming to show ideal conditions deceiving. What's happening here? It's taking forever to load up. I just want to show us an indicator on TradingView that looks like that SCMTF and can also send an alert to you. The challenge with the free version, it's been long I use the free version. I don't know how many alerts you can send. I don't know if anybody can confirm to us how many alerts can the free version send. So you decide that. Okay, so I think we added something to this. I don't know if it's something that will make sense for this class or if you just let it be. Check the ground. Okay. Is one alert. Okay. TradingView can send only one alert. Wow. Wow, that won't work. That won't work. So I will suggest you guys find a way of getting VPS. Seriously. It's just the easiest thing to do. What is the setting for 1 hour 15? It's the same setting, my brother. We just found something. Of course, we're recording this, so we just found something that can help us. For those of you who want 15 minutes and 15 minutes and 1 hour simultaneously, not for everybody. All right, so let's give room for questions while we wait for this to come up. If you have questions, I don't know why it's taking forever to come up. Okay, I think it has come up now. Okay, so this is the indicator CM. Let me see if I can find it in my favorites. Here is it. CM, just type, let's see if we can find it normally. CM. Okay, so look at it. CM stochastic multi-time frame, 18,000 by Chris Modi, 18,268. Stochastics, CM stochastics. So for those of you who love TradingView, all these settings, you can do many things with this setting. This is basically stochastic, but I didn't do any settings to it. And in fact, if you want to see 15 minutes on 1 hour, you can do that here too, right? So if you want to show second stochastic and you want it to be 15 minutes or a different time frame, if I want it to be only one stochastic, I can uncheck, and now it's showing only one. Notice the change in the background. If I put this, it puts on another stochastic, so I can see everything and I can choose what color that suits you. What I think for most of us, we'll be using just 1 hour stochastics, right? So when you have this 1433, 8020, and all the likes, you can now set alerts. You can now set alerts to this, right? And tell it to tell you what happens when price is crossing. So when this is crossing, it tells you, okay, when is it when the stock K is crossing or the stock B is crossing, and this can send alerts to you. So this basically tells you the way this indicator works naturally is that the color here is too bright. It tells you buy. This green is more or less like buy, and the red is more or less like sell. But that's not what you and I are looking at. We are not selling and buying because price is extended on the stochastics. We are applying it to something else. So the stop is just a filter to get premium and discount. Again, you can play around with this, and this can send an alert. Unfortunately, the free can only send one alert. I guess you just have to spend money at the end of the day. If you use this, if you use the other one I mentioned, it can send multiple alerts as much as possible, and then you can take your decisions. So I'll be rounding up now by except with the question. So backtest vigorously. If you want to trade it alone, you backtested only one pair. I advise you to backtest more pairs. If you want to trade it with IOF or BTMM, I trade it with the both of them. Again, I want you to backtest and create flashcards. So what we'll be doing for the next 2 weeks is backtest this and create flashcards. So we'll have one more webinar at the end of the 2 weeks where we'll discuss what I consider a profitable money management for this strategy. Right. So if you're using it, what is the profitable money management? For many of us, we had few 1:1. We had few 1:1. We had some 2:2, fewer things greater than 3, and some stupendous 28, 27. Right. So when we added all this, we had a positive account balance growth. But the question is, how can we catch this 28? How can we catch this 3? Right? What do we do when we catch only 1? So we'll be discussing that in 2 weeks' time. But what I want everyone to do is, if you feel you love what you've seen, very simple, Slingshot on its own, very simple. All you need to do is put some filter. And what is the filter? Okay, I won't trade anything that doesn't have AUD and blah, blah, blah outside the kill zone. And if I'm going to trade Slingshot, I want to see that it has taken out a high. Yes, somebody noticed something and brought it to my attention, and I gave a correction to that. Please, what app can one use to create flashcards on phones? There's an app somebody used. Unfortunately, I'll check. I think I downloaded it. I can't remember. I'll check. If I have it on my phone, I'll drop. But please, if any of you have an app that can be used to create flashcards on phone, please drop. You can't be confident of any strategy simply because a mentor said it. You have to see it work yourself by backtesting it and also by creating flashcards. So yes, this is what I want to say. Let's say you have a reason to go short here. What we backtested was we did something like this. This was what we backtested. We did something, sorry, please. We did something like this. Let me bring this back to, let's see, Aqua. We did something like this, and we said stop loss is going to be above, right? Ladies and gentlemen, from experience, if you're going to do this, and this is happening outside of your kill zone, and you insist on taking this trade, don't put your stop loss here. Look for the recent high above this that is not too far away, and put your stop loss above it. If this did not happen in kill zone, you have about 70% chance that in London, they will do the vector move towards the high of yesterday, right? They will do a vector move to the high of yesterday. Take out this thing here, this week here, we take out whatever stop loss we have here, and then see the massive drop, right? So you don't want to be in this, and that's why we said, okay, if you want to trade this, let me put my control Y so you see what I'm saying. Okay, so this happened. This happened within the kill zone. We had this drop, right? I'll suggest put your stop loss above a recent high. The following day they came, took out yesterday's high. So this was the perfect BTMM trade, right? Again, you see your M there, perfect BTMM trade. They took out this high, which was yesterday's high. So you want to, if the previous day's high is very close, you want to stop your stop loss slightly away from it. This AUD NZD, this will not be massive. This is just 9 pips or about 7 pips or thereabout, right? So you want to give yourself that room for the drop. So don't put your stop loss exactly at that point to the tip of it. Please don't do that if you're trading Slingshot. Yes, it's recorded. Don't do that, please. they will most likely take you out if they don't drop down. Remember, the market makers will not move until they've taken out liquidity. I don't want to mess up our charts, but for those of you who like quarter points, if you find price, this is 16033, right? So let's just do this. For those of you who have quarter points, BTMM traders will have it on their template already. 1.60, 1.063. Boom. So notice how price dropped straight at that round number, right? So if I have my stop loss close to a round number, one of the first things they told us in trading, that price will always gravitate towards a round number. Tuck your stop loss slightly above the round number, right? So what do I mean by round number? 1.063, anything that has 6 and 5 as the last, you want to give some gap from your 6 and 5, right? Because price may push exactly to those areas. So let's say I have this, let's look for another reason to go short and find an entry. So we have a reason to go, okay, these ones are buys. Let's look for reasons to either sell or buy, as the case may be. Sell or buy, as the case may be. To better explain that. Okay, fine. If I have a reason to sell off from here, so let's say I saw this tweezer. Again, BTMM traders will be seeing M, and I see this drop, right? First thing I should be asking myself, where is a recent high close there? Nothing stops me from putting my stop loss here if it's not too far away. And if it's a GBP pair, just put your stop loss spread times 2 above, right? Spread times 2 above. If it is happening during your kill zone, if it's happening outside your kill zone, and you insist you must take the trade, put your stop loss above a recent high, because in the kill zone you can just shoot up. And remember, BTMM traders, you have stop hunt for GBP pairs of up to 50 pips in the opposite direction before it falls. So what that will do is that it reduce your losing trade, and we might have more winners, right? So here we had this railroad, price broke to the downside, and now we are going down. If I drop down to 15 minutes on this is 28th of October, 28th of October AN. If I come here and call up AN, and I go to 28th of October, where are you, 28th of October? Go back to page 4. 28th of October, somewhere here, 15 minutes. Okay. 28th of October is, where are we? Sorry. Sorry guys, 28th of October. Okay, so wait, something is happening. It keeps going back. No wonder. I was wondering if that was 28th of October 2019. All right, so here we are, 28th of October. So notice this. If you wait for the Asian high to be taken, that spike you see here, this spike you are seeing is actually taking out the Asian highs, right? For the drop. So if you add some filter that if I'm going to sell, I want liquidity to be taken out, or something to be taken out, either Asian high or yesterday high before I sell. That is the only time I want to sell. You add that filter, it will reduce some trades for you, then give you reasons to want to take your trade. Or you could trade slingshot exactly the way it is, but give yourself certain conditions. I will trade only during the Q zones if it doesn't have AUD, JPY, or NZD. So what we're going to do for the next 2 weeks is please backtest with your favorite strategy, IOF, BTMM. I'll be dropping some charts like 5, 6 every day in that group. I want you to do the same thing together with your flashcards. That if you see a setup you want us to discuss ahead of time, for instance, if you notice price has gone below 20 or above 80 in the right conditions, you could drop it and we'll discuss it before we take the trade. So I'll be stopping here except if there's any question. I believe we've been able to get um, some value. I will drop the Q zone indicator like I promised, and any other thing. Anybody having something to say before we wrap it up? Prof, anything for us?
No, thank you, Bishop. That was a fantastic presentation.
Thank you, bro. All right, so let's go crush the market this week and have a very nice evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are.
Have a good one. Take care, guys.
Yeah, take care.